Okay, so I'm standing in front of Nelson's Column in the middle of London, and I'm going to try and give you an impression of time by walking to Buckingham Palace, which is roughly 1 kilometre away. Now, we're going to imagine that Nelson's Column is 2 million years ago. And why is because this is when Homo erectus first appeared in Africa. And Homo erectus was our early ancestor who stood on his hind legs. Now, 500,000 years before that, we'd been using stone tools, we'd been walking around on all fours, and our diet consisted mainly of a vegetarian food, the occasional small animal that we ate, much like chimpanzees, nuts, berries, whatever we could find. But 2 million years ago was when we started to walk on our hind legs. So I've moved 10 metres from Nelson's Column, but what I've actually done is I've moved forward 200,000 years, which is the time it's taken for Homo erectus to walk out of Africa and appear basically at 40 degrees north latitude. Now, what happens here is he can't go any further north because he has no way of developing fire because the weather is colder and he can't progress any further. So what happens is we start migrating to the east across Asia. So now it's 1.65 million years ago, and Homo erectus has spread his way right across Asia. Now what's happening here is there's seasonal fruits and vegetables that's basically he's eating, which means there's periods where there is nothing to eat except animal products, meaning meat and fat. So there's long periods, months at a time, where our ancestors ate nothing but meat and fat only. Okay, so I've got to walk actually almost all the way now to the palace to show you how much time has elapsed before we reach our next milestone. So as you can see, I'm almost at Buckingham Palace now. I've walked the last 750 metres, and why we've stopped here is because this represents 500,000 years ago, because Homo erectus is now appearing in Europe, which means that he's mastered the use of fire. He's following the large herd animals, large prey animals, herbivores, up into Europe. Woolly mammoths, woolly rhino are basically the remains of which are found here in Britain. He's developed sophisticated hunting methods. He's now using spears for hunting, and almost exclusively for the past 1.5 million years his diet has been predominantly animal protein and animal fat, and with the addition of the occasional seasonal vegetables and berries. Okay, so I'm almost at Buckingham Palace. And what is significant about this is that Neanderthals have now appeared in Europe. Neanderthals were bigger than us, they had bigger brains than us, and they had sophisticated hunting skills. And the reason why was because they had such a high protein diet, and also they were getting omega-3 fatty acids in their diet from eating fish, which causes the brain to grow larger, or help with the development of the brain, I should say. Okay, so we're almost there. Another 75 metres to go, and the reason we're stopping here is because Homo sapiens have appeared in Africa, and Homo sapiens are anatomically exactly like us, as is Homo erectus, and we've appeared in Africa. Okay, so we're almost there. This is 70,000 years ago when Homo sapiens appeared in Europe, and at this point they were developing language, and again being able to communicate. They had much more sophisticated ways of hunting game and bringing food to the table, basically. Okay, so almost there. it's 45,000 years ago. We're seeing now cave painting, music and burial, which meaning that our ancestors are now developing a sense of spirituality. Up until now, their diet has consisted almost exclusively of animal protein, animal fats, and seasonal berries and vegetables, whatever they come across. It's 10,000 years ago. I've got roughly about 5 meters left to go. Now, what's significant here is that every person on the planet, up until this point, ate animal protein and animal fats, some berries, roots and vegetables. Nobody ate dairy, nobody ate grains. We basically had a population of between 2.5 to 4 million people. And what's significant about this point is it's when agriculture began. It's when our diets started to change completely. We had such a wide diversity of food up until this point. And then with the invention of agriculture, food base narrowed quite significantly, and it had actually quite a lot of effect on our physiology as well. So I'm going to walk the rest of the way. And our final milestone, just to give you an idea, I'm going to use this leaf as a way of scale. So the distance between my finger and the leaf and the gate is roughly 91 years ago, which was the start of the Industrial Revolution, when we started to use refined flours and sugars in our diet. And if I remove the leaf and just my finger alone, if you imagine there was a dust mite on the tip of my finger, the droppings from that dust mite would be still larger than the time it took for us to start to use low fat. So here we are at the present day. And now we're facing the greatest challenges to the survival of the species in the history of our evolution. In America, 1/3 of the population is diabetic or is about to become diabetic. The mortality rate for people dying of starvation has been overtaken by people dying from being overweight, obesity, and overweight related illnesses. And this current generation of children is going to be the first generation of children who aren't expected to live as long as their parents. By the year 2024, all money for health will be used up for the treatment of diabetes. There'll be nothing left for anything else except diabetes. So in this short space of time, we've completely come off the rails with our diet. We're using low-fat, high-sugar products. We've got sugar in every product that you can imagine. And it's killing us.